All right, so we are back, and I welcome to you Chef Dude Man right here. What's on the menu today?
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are finally back on our 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, and as you can tell, we got to still paint the exterior of this thing. We pretty much got to paint this whole entire side. So what we're going to start with doing is actually wet sanding these doors, this windshield frame, this fender, and also on the back end over here, we're going to go ahead and wet sand that quarter panel and also the back end of that tub that we're going to blend onto. So let's just go ahead and actually grab some supplies, a bucket of water, and start wet sanding this thing. Alright, so we completely wet sanded this green door right here along with the primered area as well, and I went ahead and actually sanded this entire windshield frame except for this primered area. And you might have noticed that I did throw some yellow tape along all the edges, and that's because there's rubber seals there and we don't want to scratch that or even scratch the glass, that is, because it will scratch that sandpaper.
Hey man, we got a little Jeep crawling over here, man. That is awesome.
Hey, we got to preserve that original glass right there. But the next thing is to pretty much sand that primer right there. Then we're going to move on to the back section over here, sand that door, that quarter panel, and also the back half of the tub that we're going to blend onto as we mentioned before. But let's just keep on sanding and try to get this entire thing sanded. All right, guys, so check this out. We finally got the back half of this Jeep sanded, and I just want to show you guys exactly how we're going to do this tape line when we're painting it. And we're just going right along this seam over here and right along the seam sealer all the way down. There is going to be a hard tape line, but it's right on the edge, so you're barely going to notice it. It's going to be almost OEM. But as for that side over there, the quarter panel is 100% sanded along with the rocker panel and this pillar right here. So all this is good. We may have to do a few touch-ups whenever it dries, but right now we got one more thing to sand, and that's actually our fender. So what we're going to do is actually completely disassemble it, throw it back on the Jeep, and wet sand it. All right, guys, so we got everything completely wet sanded, but as you can tell, it did get dark on us, so we're just gonna go ahead and put the top back on the Jeep and catch you guys in the morning. All right, so it is the next day here. We just got off the phone with the guys at the paint booth, and it is actually currently occupied, which is no big deal because we can paint here at the Goon Squad garage. We get some pretty dang good paint jobs other than the excessive amount of trash. But if you look closely to the original paint, it is nice and smooth. So that means we're gonna have to buff regardless just to match up to that finish right there. But the next most important thing is to actually get these doors sealed, and we're gonna have to seal them off of the Jeep because we don't want any gray overspray getting onto that red paint, and it's gonna just ruin those door jambs there. So let's just go ahead and actually pop them off and try to get them prepped for some sealer. Both of these doors taped up, and as you can tell, we did have to tape them up a certain way. That way we don't have any overspray going on the back end of them because they are already painted and clear coated. And the next step is to pretty much mix up some sealer and go ahead and seal both of the doors. And I'm thinking once we get done with the sealer, we're probably gonna do some base coat as well just to get the maximum coverage. That way we don't have to sit there and just spray them in too much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I want them to be red, that way we don't just focus on the doors and just mess up the whole entire, you know, flow.
Exactly, this is gonna take a lot of paint, but let's go ahead and mix up our sealer and try to get them sprayed in. All right, so we finally got 2 coats of sealer on these doors, and as you can tell, they are currently drying. We got the propane heater on right there trying to speed things up, but it's just not hot enough, I guess. It's not getting hot enough, and our idea is to actually go ahead and buy 2 more of these devices right here. We got 2 more propane tanks, so I think that's definitely gonna heat this room up. We even got the heater stove on over there, but it's just not hot enough. It's actually pretty chilly today. That's just the most time-consuming thing, is waiting for this paint to dry. So let's run to the store, grab what we need, and we'll go from there.
All right, so here we are, boys, at the Home Depot. And we're gonna get the propane devices that we need, right?
Yep, and we're gonna grab a John Deere real quick.
Man, we need one of them John Deeres right there, man. You know how fast you can move and mow grass at the same time?
Pop wheelies.
Pop wheelies, all that good stuff. Let's see what they got. Dude, I say we just buy a little mini fireplace.
Man, that's perfect.
Prop it up right next to the Jeep.
And you warm up.
Where are those devices at?
Right here up top.
Oh, nice. Is there any stronger ones? Because that one is pretty strong, but if there is a stronger one, oh yeah, I guess these are the only ones. 84 bucks.
Ooh, wait, which one is it? Is it this one? The 30?
Radiant heat, that's the thing, that's the big thing about it, is a radiant heater, because kerosene would throw fish eyes, right?
Oh yeah, anything that's like fan driven is gonna throw dust in fish eyes. This doesn't do anything,
Except for the heater stove that we got, because on wood. But yeah, let's just grab 2 of them. And I guess we may grab some other supplies, I'm not sure.
Got 2 heaters, a few power cords, and a few other supplies, and I think we're good to go.
All right, so we thought we were gonna go home, but we got a little hungry. You know, while we're out here, might as well get what you need, because we're not trying to waste all day, right?
Yeah, some loaded baked potato soup, son.
Dang, dude, I guess I'll have to try some of that. We're gonna probably go buy some other goods as well. You know, we like to cook every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
We'll grab some things and we're gonna head back home. We are whipping the whip today.
This thing is a whip or this is a commuter right here, man. Good on gas. I think we spent like $1 a week on gas in this thing.
Dude, this thing is nice and it's a clean title. Wife loves it, right? And
Oh,
more,
yeah.
I think you love it more than your wife because you drive it more, right?
I know, I always ask for this car because I hate spending that money on them V8s, them V10s.
I know, right? But
I like the inline four.
But I think we got everything we need. We got about a store and a half.
Yeah.
Now let's head back home. All right, so we are back, and I welcome to you Chef Dude Man right here. What's on the menu today?
We're gonna have some shrimp and steak tacos. So I'm about to fire these suckers up and eat good. Shrimp and steak tacos. Bone apple teeth.
All right, so we got our fleet of heaters set up over here. Man, it is so nice and toasty right there. I can't even stand there too long. But as of right now, let's pretty much grab some paint and start painting, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw probably like a few coats of base coat, and this sucker should heat it right up, and then we can probably slap it back on the Jeep and start wrapping that thing up.
We're just gonna be rolling with it, so let's just keep moving. So we got a couple coats of red on these doors and they're drying pretty dang quick with our supercharged heating system. But come with me, let me show you guys one more thing that we got to bring in here before we pull the entire Jeep in, and that's this fender. We're actually going to pop it off, and you see this tab here right here? We won't be able to reach that once this door goes on to spray this entire side all together. So let's just pop it off and give it a couple coats of red. Alrighty boys, so we got the Jeep inside. We're about to throw the doors on and start wrapping that sucker up. But as you can tell, I got my wheelbarrow here. We're gonna go grab some logs because we need it nice and toasty in there to make this whole entire process a lot faster. So let's go grab a log, boys. Knocked out the most time-consuming part of this process. That was outlining this entire Jeep with some tape, but we got it looking like a Tron car. And the most difficult thing was actually outlining this windshield seal right here because we don't want any red paint getting on that black seal. But all we got left is to pretty much throw tarp on this entire Jeep, and then we're gonna throw some paint and blend this all together. This primer here is probably gonna get the most paint. Let's go ahead and tarp it off, and then we're gonna get ready to spray.
guys, so the trifecta is working amazing. We went ahead and threw like 4 coats of base, nice thick coats, and I gotta say it's turning out pretty dang good, but we are running low on our base coat. Hopefully we have enough, fingers crossed, that everything matches perfectly, but dude, it's starting to turn out, dude.
Amazing, man.
Now it's all kind of like matching right here. There is a few little areas that I need to touch up, like exactly where we primered over here, but I made sure to throw nice thick coats. That's why you kind of see a little bit of lines going on.
Yeah.
You know, that's me just throwing some thick coats, but our last like 2 coats, I'm gonna mist everything on here just so it'll match perfectly. But going back here, we kind of ran into a little issue right where this blend was happening. I think that's from the primer. It's like almost like alligator skin right there. We're just gonna have to sand that down with a 600, no big deal. This thing is just drying out the paint quick, making this process a lot faster. All right, guys, so we just finished throwing our base coat down. It went down nice and smooth. We just ran out just in time. We don't have no more of this firecracker red paint, but now it is time to start throwing our clear. I already got 1 cup mixed up. I'm probably gonna have to mix up like 4 something cups because we're actually painting quite a bit right now, and I wanted to throw at least 3 coats on everything so we got a nice smooth finish to buff down later on. So let's go ahead and actually put up our gun to this clear and go shoot it.
All right, so it is the next day here, and it did start pouring down rain on us last night, so we just had to wrap it up. But check it out, it is finally painted and clear coated, and it looks pretty dang good. We had the heaters on this morning, so it is almost dry, but not 100% cured. We're gonna give it 1 more day before we start buffing this thing, because it's definitely gonna need to be buffed. As you know, we do get a little bit of trash, but if you look closely right here, this is probably our worst area right here. It is really rough. I don't know if that's in the paint or the clear coat. What do you think that is?
I don't know, dude. Maybe the paint went down too dry whenever we were blending it, because that's exactly where I blended it, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and Standock's paint is super thick, so that may be part of the problem, but hopefully we can buff that out. If not, we'll have to probably sand it with a 600 grit and re-clear it. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, we'll send it with a 2000, use all the steps and get that buffed out. But other than that, the transition, all the blends went perfectly. As you can tell here, it does kind of look different colors right here. Does it look different to you?
Yeah, it kind of looks different on the camera, but we didn't even spray paint like past this point.
Yeah, so we stopped paint right here. This is all just fresh clear coat, so I'm guessing that's what that is. But once we buff everything together, I think it's gonna match perfectly. But other than that, look at that windshield frame. That's probably the smoothest piece right there.
That thing came out nice and smooth. There ain't even one imperfection in it, but let's check out the back side of this thing.
The doors are pretty dang, just a little bit of trash in the doors.
I think this quarter panel has a little bit of rough spots too,
yeah,
dude.
I see that, but hopefully we can buff that out.
You can see it pretty good on camera right there, dude. It's pretty crazy.
It's not as bad as the fender though, so hopefully we can buff that out. But look at that rear section of that tub actually. It looks nice and smooth. The transition, the blend went perfectly, and that tape line over there is perfect as well, dude. So we're just super excited to have this completely painted, because once this thing goes completely back together, you might have noticed some boxes over there hidden in the background. This thing is gonna be absolutely epic when we're done with it. All right, so there's a little sneak peek of our packages, but don't show them too much. But that is gonna be a wrap for today's video. Make sure your post notifications are on so you don't miss out on anything. And hopefully in the next one, we can get this sucker buffed out looking perfect. But also guys, if you want an inside scoop before YouTube, definitely give us a follow on Instagram. And if you wanna help support your boys, be sure to visit goonzquad.com and copy one of these brand new t-shirts. We just released this design. We don't have really many of them, and this is probably one of our most comfortable t-shirts. So definitely check out goonzquad.com and copy one. So with all that being said, thank you guys for all the love and support. Be sure to drop your comments and thoughts down below, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.